So we got a leak the day after the Mortal Kombat 11 third anniversary, and wouldn't you know it, a leak has come forward from this time our lovely Anonymous. Anonymous is back, guys. So I'm going to go over the leak, break it down, and give my thoughts. So the leak is titled "See You Next Year" from Anonymous. And this one's not that lengthy, so there's just a little bit of details to this. But I think what this person is supposedly saying is going to be true is kind of stuff that we have kind of heard and seen before, but they give more of a specific day as when we're going to probably get an announcement, when the game will release, aside from who the main villain is going to be, and then they also give us supposedly the base roster of the game. So I'm going to go through the leak. I'm also going to go through the roster and then kind of give some thoughts. So it starts off by saying Mortal Kombat 12 will be announced on October 8th of this year with the release date of April 2023. So as I've talked about in previous videos, that date has come up once before, or at least the fall of this year being a possible announcement date. We talked about in a previous video the 30th anniversary of Mortal Kombat being probably the best time for it to happen. So all these leaks kind of fall in line and say something very similar to each other, which could be true. Now, it being April 2023, this kind of goes in line again with what other leaks have talked about, and I talked about in previous videos about there being a consistent pattern as far as release dates for NetherRealm Studios games, specifically Mortal Kombat games, and those primarily being in the spring as the last games have been released. So having it released in April 2023, could just be sheer coincidence, or maybe they know the secret sauce. It goes on to say huge anniversary type game that takes place with what the predecessor, oh my gosh, if I could read English, that takes place with what the predecessor had to offer but amplifies it. Might be the most stunning fighter yet. Now, that statement to me can be a little bit misleading because we don't know if this new game will be a culmination of all three games, as we've seen in previous leaks, a 30th anniversary master game of some kind, or if it's going to be really a continuation of what we got in Mortal Kombat 11. It could be any number of those scenarios, maybe a hybrid of all of those, but that statement kind of makes it seem like something else might be in the works. But it goes on to say that select screen attached, from the picture you can see, is a mock-up of all the base character rosters I've seen in the game. Real one looks much better, and everyone from the previous game has new portraits, which I think is going to be good. And like I said, I'll go through all the characters here in a minute. The big bad of the game is going to be Onaga. I've said in previous videos I think that'd be kind of cool if Onaga had a return, maybe with Liu Kang undoing some elements of time, events that have happened that makes it to where Onaga maybe can come back and have a second chance to take over. So I think it'll be different. The premises are different. You don't have the Deadly Alliance, so to speak, to do all that. So I think it's a good way to do it. It says the pre-order bonus is the Great Kung Lao. Now, I thought about this and I was thinking, why would we do that? But, it kind of would say, in Mortal Kombat 11, Kronika was a new character, even though she was the big baddie. You really didn't get to play as her, so to speak. So I think that would be good. I think maybe him being in the story is good, but maybe not playing as him until you unlock him or something. Maybe that would be the way to go about it. Just some food for thought. And it goes on to say huge planned DLC skin packs, notably classic MK1 through 3 styled fighters with face models from the OG actors and attires based on the live action 2021 movie. You guys are in for a treat. Now, we've seen in the news, well, I say news, Mortal Kombat news, we've seen where some of the OG arcade actors, for Sonya Blade, Kung Lao, Sindel recently, where they've been basically getting, back in costume and makeup and appearance for the characters that they portrayed back in the day for MK1 through 3. So it'd be interesting to see if we actually get some of those themed characters to come back. We have had packs like this in Mortal Kombat 11 with the, 1995 Mortal Kombat, Hollywood skin pack where we had, Christopher Lambert and all the characters from that movie for Raiden, Johnny Cage, and Sonya Blade. So maybe they'll do something like that for this, new iteration from Mortal Kombat 12. I think the live action skin pack is notable too because, recently in the news, this is actual news for Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat, the movie from 2021, is still the most watched movie on HBO Max, slightly beating out The Batman, which is good news for Mortal Kombat fans and good news for the people making the sequel because that should give them more, clout with Warner Brothers, maybe for some more budget money or, hopefully to be able to make a good movie. And seems like it's coming along. Some of the actors are planting hints that at least some type of announcement or formal announcements coming soon. So I think that'd be a good reason to have some type of live action skin pack inserted into the game. And you could do that with, some of the characters I mean, I think that some of the skins aren't too crazy, you know, on the from the live action movie, but they could do something. You know, especially if some leaks talk about us eventually getting Cole Young as a DLC. You know, if they could do something with the movie, whatever it may be. I'd be down for it. All right, so let's go through the roster real quick and go through all the characters that are supposedly going to be included in the game as far as the base roster, as this leaker is saying. So I have a bigger picture pulled in front of me so I can actually see these. So I know just about all the characters in there. There's one face in here I don't recognize, so I'll ask for your help on that. But starting from the top left with Tanya, going all the way up and down, we got Tanya, Shang Tsung, Shao Kahn, Frost, Nightwolf, Reptile, I believe that's Smoke, Varaicho, Stryker, Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, Cassie Cage, like how this person put them all in the family, Jax Briggs. I don't know who this is. I don't know if it's King Jared or somebody that I'm just not familiar with in this look, but that's the only character I couldn't figure out in this picture. Scorpion, new Cybot, Baraka, Raiden, Jackie Briggs, Sub-Zero, Kano, Cabal, Liu Kang, Katana, Kung Lao, Jade. We have Quan Chi, Scarlet. We have Aaron Black. We have Devora. We have Kotal Khan, Shiva, Cyrax, Sector, Jarrus the Collector. Seems like that rhymes. Sindel, Melina. We have Cetrion, Fujin, Rain, Ermac. Would be great to have Ermac back. Shinnok as a playable character. Kintaro as a playable character, because this portion of Kintaro is very reminiscent of when Shang Tsung was able to turn into him in like his fatality. We have Tremor. Welcome back, Tremor. We have Takeda, Kenshi. We have Farah and Tor. That one kind of threw me for a loop for a second. Goro and Kronika. So it's interesting that we have pretty much a fully rounded roster on there, and it seems like there's tons of story to tell with each and every one of them as far as them crossing paths and the aftermath of more kind of an aftermath. So I think it's very interesting that that could be a possible roster. Now, again, with all these leaks, guys, I know some of y'all are on the bandwagon as far as this all this good discussion. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about this. I just want to know what your thoughts are about the leak itself, about the base roster. What do you want for Mortal Kombat 12? When do you think it's going to come out? And who do you want to see in the game? And that's it for this video, guys. Make sure to hit that like button. If you can subscribe to the channel for videos like this one. And I'll see you guys next time on The Mashup.